Hello, fans of the project. I have recently, or within the last couple of weeks anyway, been admonished that the last update video was the 6th of June and is now the 8th of September, so I believe I owe a video update, of this video diary that I've been completing, that I've been continuing on the build of the B-3. So anyway, there it is right there so far. And let's do a little walk around, and I'll give you an idea of what's been happening. Now, in the last video update, it was in the same condition. It was all disassembled. The firewall, I believe, was on. This is the Wilwood master cylinder that replaced the Jetta unit, and I do believe the dash panel was constructed at that time. I think, yeah, I think it was. But as you can see, going by the last video, the frame is pretty much completely painted. There are some extra formers. Whoops, let's go back over here. There's some extra formers across the top of the firewall and dashboard cowl hoops. And as you can see, the floors are pretty much completely finished. And actually, they are completely finished. You can notice there's a big fat pile of cable down there. We'll get to that in a minute. But there's the drive shaft cover. I've got a seat in there to measure head spacing, because I am currently in the midst of mocking up the roll bar with PVC pipe, and I haven't got the mock-up quite all the way done yet, but maybe I'll do some of that in a little bit. Anyway, this is the trunk area it's been completed. The box over the rear wheel, the fender box, I like to call it, and we got the rear taillight enclosure enclosed. At least we got a panel on there to close it off, and I fixed it up so that I can attach it from the outside rather than the inside like the stock Yamaha. And as you can see, there's bare metal there. That's to leave a little space for welding the roll bar on and the roll bar supports, because there's going to be some gusseting going on there. Now, what I did most recently, and plus the reason there was a languishment or a slowdown in the project was because I went away to Plum Island for a couple of weeks, and I bought that paddle board to supplement the kayaks that Pam and I already have. So I've been out having fun with that, as it is the summer. So, but when I got back from my 2-week vacation, what I did was I went to Henry's, and even though Henry's doesn't have old car stuff anymore, it's still a good resource for parts. And I did need some wire, because pull this seat out. We have this seat plugged in. This is plugged into the passenger seat area. As you can see down there, there's the battery. I built the battery box, and now the battery has to interface with the rest of the electrics, which will be up here. The rest of the XS850 harness, which will be up here in the dashboard area. So what I did was I went to Henry's and scrounged wire out of a whole bunch of different vehicles, a couple of some BMWs and some Chevy S10 trucks, and I came back with a whole bunch of treasure. And one of the key ingredients, one of the coolest things I found was this. This is the main power bus out of like a 320, an early 90s or mid 90s 328i that was parked in the trunk and talked to the car from the trunk, from the battery which was in the trunk, all the way up to the front. And this is great because I can connect my battery here, and this is going to live somewhere around here. And I will be able to connect my battery to it with a section of that cable there, which I scavenged, which has been recycled from that exact BMW. And then on this, here's my main power, and then I can power the fuel pump from one of these, and I can power other things from these. I have these power takeoffs, so I don't have to actually cut into I don't actually have to splice into the Yamaha harness to do any of those electrical connections. And the other thing I did was I wanted some of that lovely split plastic flexible conduit. Let's go around the other side here so we can see. And I scrounged, a whole tangled mess of that with the wire inside, so that I have a good selection and multiple lengths of it, so I can cover all my wires where they need to be covered. Because I'm going to have to obviously, when the motorcycle switches bolt to that little tube that goes right here, I'll have to extend the headlights up to here, and extend the taillight wiring back to the taillight, and so I've got plenty of wire to do that, and plenty of the split flexible conduit to make that happen. I've got some lugs to crimp on or solder onto the end of the terminal for the battery, and that's I had thought that I would begin working on the. Let me open the door. It's a little, even though it's September 8th, it's a little warm in here. Where's my... Anyway, so that's about what I've been doing. Although I got it in my head that I needed to fabricate the roll bar, because that's going to be the last bit of major construction that I do. And what it's going to do, it's going to mount right here. It's going to weld on. I'm not going to bolt it on. I'm going to weld it on right here. I'm going to have to make a little plate to get it to the width of the tubing, and then gusset it down here and here, and then box that in, and then I'll have my roll bar mount. And the roll bar isn't going to mount at 90 degrees to the frame. It's going to mount at an angle that mimics the angle of the seat, something like this, and then across, and then it's going to tie into right down in there. Those are the original VS 1400 shock mounts, and that's what the roll bar will brace to, that inner thickened lug right there, on the inside of where the shock actually does mount. And those will be nice and beefy, and that'll give it. I mean, the roll bar is mostly going to be used for pushing the thing around, because it does, as a motorcycle, it does not have a reverse gear, and I'm not really intending to put one in. Maybe someday, but I doubt it, because I have, after this is done and on the road and in a condition that I think is worthy enough to be able to drive, maybe not every single day, but 80% of the days, I'm going to stop working on it and build something else. And I already have the idea of what that's going to be, but we'll talk about that later. So anyway, that's the update for today, September 8th, 2012. Once I get going on the roll bar fabrication, I'll do some more video and give an update of that too.